Fire and Flower is a cannabis retail franchise with provincial licenses to operate 7 cannabis retail stores in Alberta, 2 cannabis retail stores in Saskatchewan, as well as a wholesale cannabis supply business. The company is currently pursuing additional licenses to operate stores in British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. Fire and Flower stores recently surpassed $10 million in sales since legalization. The company had 5 locations open on October 17th and has since doubled its retail footprint. Fire and Flower began trading on the TSX Venture today under the ticker symbol FAF.
Animation. Trevor Fencott is here with me now. He's the CEO of Fire and Flower. Trevor, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Trevor, you guys just opened a store yesterday in Ottawa.
Yes.
And it was a big success by all accounts.
It was a great success. I mean, we knew from opening stores in Alberta on October 17th that there was going to be lines. I don't think we expected this level of support from Ottawa. We did $50,000 in system sales on day one.
Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That is amazing. Did you sell out of anything?
We did not. I think, well, actually, we came close with a couple of products, but the good thing about the 25 store limit is that there is enough supply. So, I mean, obviously, it's not great for consumers because there's not enough stores out there yet.
Right.
But the store was fully stocked. We did have a lot of inventory.
Of the 25 licenses that were granted under the lottery system in Ontario, how many stores opened yesterday?
I don't know. I heard it was fewer than half.
Right.
Yeah.
So does that mean all these other guys have to pay a big fine now? Because
presumably, it could be. It could be. I mean, we did a soft launch in our Kingston store, so it was open, but we were still doing some final tweaks to training of staff. But we had inventory in store, so we'll see. There's probably a few stores that are like that are trying to get the last bits of their system up in place, but that could have opened. But I think you have to err on the side of caution. This is regulated industry. Yeah. You need to err on the side of caution.
Right. So, what are the hours of your store in Ottawa? Just out of curiosity, when do you open? When do you close?
Well, it's 10 till 10.
10 till 10.
Yeah.
7 days a week.
I believe it's 7 days a week. The hours are reduced on Sunday.
Yeah. Interesting. So you're call it half open half as much as the black market.
That's right, and we don't deliver. Yeah.
Right,
so,
and you don't deliver.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that the absence of delivery and the absence of a 24-hour clock, which is currently, like, if you go to weedmaps.com, there's like a dozen illegal operators in every jurisdiction operating, delivering weed within an hour in some cases for a fraction of the cost. Obviously, they don't have to pay the taxes. They don't have a storefront to operate. They don't have the burden of compliance of being a public company.
Yep.
How important is it to you that these entities are shut down through enforcement actions by the government?
I mean, I think that's certainly part of it. I mean, we have to get support from the government in that regard. But I think the bigger support, and this is true of any industry, is you have to give customers what they want. You can't, it's just that the reason we're out of prohibition is simply that people are, cannabis consumers. That's the fact, right? So I think it's probably as important, if not more important, for the government to focus on giving people the products that they want to consume. And that's coming in October. We're going to have edibles and other forms of cannabis. So it will be more closely aligned to what you could buy from your guy that comes at 24 hours a day.
Sure.
But the other piece is you have to let people, give them access points to cannabis that are more reasonable. So as we look at Ontario, I think the initial government projection of 1,000 stores, I think you need to go to 2,000, 3,000 stores. It's what the market bears should be your goal, because that's actually how you compete with it.
Right.
And allowing things, in my personal view, in Saskatchewan, we're able to do online e-commerce and delivery modalities, click and collect, a whole bunch of private industry initiatives. I think that we're seeing huge success there, and I think that as we go forward, I think other provinces should maybe look at this as perhaps an ancillary model, not getting rid of perhaps the provincial online if you don't want, but let private companies do the delivery in a safe, effective, socially responsible way.
Sure. What is your top selling product?
I don't know the top. THC is obviously a huge seller still.
Relative to CBD.
Relative to CBD, yeah.
Because that's interesting. It's the other way around in the United States, in the regulated market.
Yeah, well, and we see that in Alberta, CBD is a big seller as well, but it's a supply-constrained environment there. I think that certainly one of the things that we saw sell very quickly, I don't know if we sold out, but it was pretty close, was the Peppermint Drops. Okay. Hexo's sublingual sort of spray. But sure. I think that again speaks to a product that is more similar to a black market product. It doesn't, it freshens your breath, right? CBD, by the way, and THC. So as we get those kinds of products, and other companies are coming up with innovative products, you're going to see, I think, us taking market share away. But for the moment, it's a lot of people that were not involved in the black market that are coming to our stores.
Sure. There's something like 170 licenses now in across Canada. And how do you determine which companies you will feature in your store and which ones you won't?
That's a great question. So for us, it's a balanced scorecard. We want to be very forthright with our vendor partners and say, look, it's as we're curating. Our role is to curate this for the consumer. They don't have time to know all the different brands and all the different QA procedures and stuff. So it's our job to curate this, like Whole Foods does for health food. So we go out, and a balanced scorecard for us is: are you supplying us? Right? I mean, it's not a given. People who are not living up to their supply commitments can't be top of the card for us, because again, we're making a promise to our customers. There are certainly QA issues that we're seeing. There have been recalls in different provinces for different matters and stuff, and so that's going to matter because that's what our customers buying from us. It's amazing. People come back to the store and say, "Well, Fire and Flower, what's wrong with your cannabis?" And this is not our cannabis. This is a licensed producer's cannabis, and maybe we have to think about them as a vendor partner. It's also about selection and availability. So not all provinces have the same sort of products, and we're actually in a particular advantage because we actually do wholesale in Saskatchewan. So Open Fields, our subsidiary there, we buy directly from the licensed producer, and we actually also sell to the independent retailers, the 31 independent retailers in that market. So we have pretty close relationships with them, and in that sense, if we're getting access to good product, because Saskatchewan is not, they're not Ontario in terms of their buying power. Right. So if we can get good deals there, then that's going to be reflected system-wide for us.
You bet. Interesting. So then in Saskatchewan, in each place where you operate, is the popularity of products skewed more towards THC universally?
It is at the moment, but I think that it's not an apples-to-apples comparison yet. I mean, I still think we're in a very supply-constrained environment, but we do see, for example, and I'm waiting to see our data from Ontario on what is actually in a kind of a supply unconstrained environment, although it's artificial. What are people choosing? So we know in Alberta that high THC does sell. In Saskatchewan, that's the same thing, but it's also because we're really limited in terms of the SKUs that we can get from licensed producers at the moment.
Wow, fantastic! And when will your Kingston store be open full time?
Kingston is going to be doors open to the public on Friday.
On Friday,
yep, I'll be there, and we invite people to come down. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, well, we'll have to come and check it out ourselves. So we'll look forward to that. All right, Trevor, well, let's leave it there for now. We'll have you back soon and hear how the retail market is going in Ontario. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.